Thank you for being here today to welcome Aer Lingus to San Francisco International Airport. I'm John Martin, Airport Director, and again, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Aer Lingus and the CEO of Aer Lingus, Christoph Mueller. Joined by a number of dignitaries, including the Mayor of San Francisco, Ed Lee. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Of course, San Francisco and the city of Cork have a sister city relationship, and we're pleased to welcome the following representatives of the city of Cork: the Deputy Lord Mayor Lorraine Kingston. Lorraine, if you could raise your hand. Thank you. And the Cork Chamber of Commerce CEO, Connor Healy. Thank you. Also present from the San Francisco Sister City Committee, the Chairman, Dermot Philpott. Okay. Thank you. And the Business Committee Chair, Jim Herlihy. Jim? And also a warm welcome to the Consul General of Ireland in San Francisco, Philip Grant. And we have a large Irish-American community in San Francisco. A lot of those folks join us today, and I especially want to welcome San Francisco former Supervisor Sean Ellsman, now representing U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein. So we're very pleased to have Ireland's award-winning flag service to SFO. Ireland and San Francisco share some very special connections, including strong high-tech industry and a strong bond in general with the business community and tourism industry. On either side, great connections of service for passengers flying on Aer Lingus, connecting to 70 different destinations via Dublin, and in San Francisco, 100 connecting flights for Aer Lingus to benefit from. We really aim to provide a world-class, set a standard for the industry that exceeds customer expectations. To that end, we're investing $4.2 billion in upgrading all of our facilities, including even this relatively new international terminal. We'll be making improvements to add amenities and additional services. We'll also be building a new 400-room, 4- or 5-star hotel right in front of the international terminal, connected by our AirTrain system. So we're committed to providing outstanding facilities and services both to our airline partners, such as Aer Lingus, and to all of the passengers using the airport. And we're aiming to make it more easy than ever for the passengers to use this airport, the easiest connection airport, and the best for international service. So it's now my great pleasure to introduce the Mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, John. Congratulations, too. Last year we had 16.9 million visitors to San Francisco come through the airport, and that's just another reflection of the extraordinary work that the airport and this commission is doing, so I want to congratulate John. More and more, I'm coming out to the airport not to leave, just to come here for events. And this is another wonderful occasion. I want to again welcome Aer Lingus and its CEO and its crew that just spent 10 hours and 40 minutes in the air flying directly on this flight. It'll be the first of 5 per week, and hopefully we'll have a chance to enlarge it in the future, because I know, and I'd like to say that because of the relationship that we've had historically with Ireland, that I'd like seeing that San Francisco and Ireland are both benefiting in our economy because of this relationship. Certainly we have culturally, historically, and with the presence of our business committee as well as our sister city committee, I know that's a strong reflection. Just over a year ago, I had the opportunity to go on my first sister city visit to Cork, just a year and a month ago. And I had a great time being representing San Francisco, but also being the the chairperson, the master of the parade for the St. Paddy's Day parade in Cork. And of course, we were all talking about where they got the original name of the Lee River in Cork. But that was one of my first visits, and I'm really gratified to do that. I also met a group of kids there when I was brought to the Black Castle Center, where they teach after-school programs on science and technology. And I just made a mental note that I had such a great time watching the kids and being educated around how they would be drawing things in a 3D way and making things and seeing their excitement. And I made a mental note that if we were lucky enough, and I think I ended my trip with a meeting with the Cork Chamber of Commerce, and Connor reflected on it just a minute ago with me, that we were hoping a decision would be made soon thereafter to reignite this direct flight. You know, I really want to be gracious and grateful to the airline for making, I think, this appropriate decision. But I also want to welcome not just the crew, not just the captain, not just the CEO, but also on this inaugural flight, thanks to the generosity of my good friend Ron Conway and others who helped me be a benefactor. We sponsored 5 of the kids from Coda Dojo, Cork Island, to be on this trip along with their chaperones, and they're here today. And I gave them a little gift already, some cookies with my face on it. I figured, you know, John, if we gave cookies out to all of the arriving passengers from international flights, I think we would jump over all the other cities on that international Skytrax survey, right? I think that probably would do that. We were just laughing and celebrating the fact that we were named the 3rd most popular airport in the world for people who ride the airlines all over the world. They consider our airport to be one of the most friendly. I think if we did more cookies, wouldn't you say, Coda Dojos? But they're going to spend 5 days here. Again, thanks to Ron. You know, we have a lot of technology companies in the Bay Area, as you know, but we also look at Dublin, where the flight originates here, and they are considered the innovation capital of Europe. Facebook and Google being having their home headquarters in Dublin, and from there, not only Europe, but Middle East and Africa, where they launch a lot of their operations. Of course, here in San Francisco, we consider ourselves the innovation capital, and we have a lot of our technology companies innovating here, and the kids are going to take advantage of that. And they're going to be visiting some game development companies as well as GitHub. They'll be at the Academy of Arts, the Academy of Sciences, as well as the Exploratorium during their visits. So I hope you enjoy yourselves here and your chaperones. But I want to again congratulate Aer Lingus again for this inaugural flight, and know that we will be supporting our countries, both countries' efforts to continue the economic improvement on both sides. And I know you'll have great reason to do so. And on this occasion, let me just take the opportunity to present Mr. Mueller, the CEO of Aer Lingus, with our plaque. And please, Mr. Christoph Mueller, please come on up as we proclaim today to be Aer Lingus Day here in San Francisco.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our representative from the State Assembly, Phil Ting, couldn't be here today, but a member of his staff is here to present a special certificate from the state to Aer Lingus. So I'd like to ask Assemblyman Ting's staff person, Noriko Shinzato, to step forward, and also ask Christoph Mueller to step forward again as well. Shinzato?
Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. My name is Noriko Shinzato, and I'm here on behalf of Assemblymember Phil Ting. I'm here today to present a certificate of recognition to Aer Lingus on commemorating this special day. we like to thank Aer Lingus and Aer Lingus staff and Mr. Mueller for inviting us today. And on behalf of Assemblyman Phil Ting, congratulations on this notable occasion.
SFO has a very strong partnership with SF Travel and very key to our continued efforts in attracting new international service. I'd like to ask you to join me in welcoming the President and CEO of San Francisco Travel, Joe D'Alessandro.
Thank you, John, and it is my pleasure to add our welcome to Aer Lingus into SFO. We are thrilled to have the new service here, and we're thrilled about the economic and tourism ties that it's going to make between our two countries. Travel and tourism is San Francisco's #1 export industry, and the growth we've seen in the last few years has been very strong. It's also extremely important to the economy of Ireland. And so we look forward to making sure that that flight is filled both ways, coming into San Francisco and going back to Ireland, and also to reinforce the fact that Dublin is a gateway to all of Europe. And we look forward to working with a lot of connections throughout Northern Europe, Central Europe, through Dublin, a very easy gateway into SFO. Over 50% of all Irish visitors into California come to San Francisco, and we're looking forward to seeing that number grow. I was with my team in Dublin just a few months ago, meeting with Aer Lingus and the travel and trade tour operators and media to promote this flight, and we look forward to working with you for a very long, successful, and healthy relationship. Congratulations and welcome again.
Thank you, Joe. And now I'd like to welcome the CEO of Aer Lingus, Christoph Mueller.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May I ask the crew, please, to join me here on stage? We have here the cockpit, and the cabin is all over the place, but please join me here. So, Mayor Lee, esteemed guests, thank you very much for this warm welcome. It is overwhelming. I've never seen that everybody literally on the ramp drops whatever they were just about to do to pick out the mobile phone and take photos of our beautiful green aircraft. Yeah, we are back after 5 years, difficult 5 years for Ireland, I have to say, but we see the first green shots, and that is also attributable to what has been quoted in the previous speeches, the technology sector, which liaises the Bay Area and Dublin, where most American technology companies have chosen to base their European headquarters. And we hope that we can contribute to that strengthening of the business relationship. But maybe for those of you who do not know who are we, Aer Lingus, we are very, very old, but still very modern at the same point in time. 78 years old, less than 20 carriers in the world have that type of age, but very modern. We sell almost 90% of our tickets via the internet. We have the modest equipment we fly, and we are recognized as being really breakers with regard to distribution policies, and we are also very, very important customers for some of the technology companies here in Silicon Valley. But it's not just technology. What was also mentioned is tourism. That goes both ways. Ireland enjoyed last year the highest ever visitor number from the United States, even higher than pre-crisis levels. And that is attributable to our nice landscape, to the golf courses, and to the very attractive hotel prices. And we want to continue. We increased our capacity last year 15%. This year we have a very ambitious target of 25%, which is rather unusual in the airline business. So tourism inbound is very important, and the Vice Chairman of Tourism Ireland, Jim Flanagan, is with us here in order to make that point again. But of course also outbound tourism from Europe. California is and will remain the most attractive tourist destination in the United States, And we see that already today. I just checked the flight log. We do not have only passengers from Ireland. From the 200 we carry today, only 95 are from Ireland. The rest is from Amsterdam, from Bristol, from Birmingham, from Manchester, from Paris, from all over Europe. And that is basically the new approach for our flight in the future to San Francisco, not only to connect Ireland with San Francisco and California, but the entirety of Europe. So that are the three components. We have an Irish community also here in San Francisco. We believe approximately 350,000 people. And believe it or not, Aer Lingus makes half of its revenues with people, we call them visiting friends and relatives. The Irish diaspora is as large as 70 million people worldwide, whereas on the island we have only 6.5 to 7. So it's a huge market for us, and that is basically our mission, and we want to complete that mission every year a little bit better, and this flight to San Francisco contributes. Since we are in a museum and since we are so old, we thought, let's connect the two things. And we thought of something from our flying equipment. This is an Airbus 330, the same we just took over the North Atlantic. And it has the designation EI for Ireland, SFO. It really did exist once. And more importantly, Aer Lingus names all its aircraft according to saints. And this one is called St. Francis. So this is our donation for the museum. Applause for our crew after 12 hours of work. Still big smiles. Thank you very much.
I'd like to ask the crew to remain up front while we do a toast and ask Joe D'Alessandro, the mayor, to come forward for that toast. A big toast to the great success of Aer Lingus in San Francisco. Welcome, San Francisco. Cheers. I'm going to ask someone else to say it.
Yes.
Sláinte means good health and good luck in Gaelic. Thank you.